So they'll be calling you a radical. So we got some good news. This is as good a place to do this video as any. I'm in working with a dietitian today at the hospital. So I got a whistleblower from inside. Believe it or not, CBS on the 60 Minutes piece is debuting on Friday. This is a big deal. So Leslie Stahl's done a piece. It's the number one, well, we know what 60 Minutes is. But he says it's not as panty-painted as I think. He says that she's interviewed people from inside the Obama administration and from the nuclear industry, and he says she doesn't use your name. But she asks him, well, there's a guy on the internet that's been reporting this every single day, and the way it looks to me, maybe he was right. This is been a cover-up. And, she goes at him, he says. So, 7 years better late than, well, it's almost 8 years. I said it in the beginning. Look, what I'm telling you today, radically, intensely, because I'm screwing my head up because I knew how cute it was, they will come out and tell you exactly what I'm telling you today, 5, 6, 7 years later. The other thing, so I just got off the phone with Tim. He's my whistleblower inside Oregon. So he says, your videos got posted today on iFish for the first time, and the Tillamook Bay fishermen are talking about you for the first time on their blog and web. And he says even on their blog and their website, the Oregon Fishing Game posted your videos and is talking about Fukushima for the first time because it's collapsed that epically. So we've been all over this. So the bigger news is this. So the crab, Oregon has announced them closed again. Not for demonic acid this time. They come out and says they're closed because of low weight. It says straight up they're starving to death. Now, crab are bottom feeders, right? Scavengers, right? Kind of like the eagles. That's how they all died. No dead salmon, no dead fish, because they're all gone. So they were the last to go. Now, they were closed because of demonic acid before, right? Well, not this time. This time it's low weight. Now, the Oregon Aquarium, now remember, Tim and I have both been to the Oregon Aquarium multiple times. We can never get an interview. We've tried at least 5 different times. I tried. He was there again this year. They won't do interviews. So they've posted a picture with a halibut with an eye growing out of the center of the top of its head. And people are talking big time. I went through the comments. There's tens of thousands of comments, and it's all Fukushima. I mean, hello. So the chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby. Too late. I talked to a guy today. He was bragging about how big, fat, sloppy dude here at the hospital. Well, they went through my groin and replaced my artery, blah, blah, that's what you should. I says, I couldn't. My platelets were too low, blah, blah, blah. I says, I have leukemia. I've been fighting leukemia. And he says, well, my nephew just died of leukemia. I says, how old was he? 21. I said, what was his name? He told me. I says, oh, my God. Yeah, because I'm involved with the sport. I know him. Tragic. I says, whoa. I said, what do you mean, oh, well? 21-year-old, big fat slob like you, you get saved, you're about, but his life is taken. This is the generational arrogance and ignorance. So it's going to air Sunday night, 60 Minutes in prime time. It's Leslie Stahl. The guy that worked on it says they viewed a lot of my videos. He says it's not as panty painted as I think, is what he told me. My term panty painter. You know where the panty painter term comes from. We used to call typer painters. We renamed it panty painters. That's Michelangelo. All his work's painted over by his own friends. Sound familiar? So, and then GE's crashing down in slow motion. I hope a lot of you made a lot of money. I haven't, but I'm trying. And so we'll get back to Monterey soon. I'm working on low tides. I want to time it right, because we want to make sure we get low tides. It's not just the moon cycle. It's weather patterns and whatnot. I have some people working on that. So thank you, everybody, support. It's historic work. So come Sunday, the 25th, the field's going to change. Again, so Oregon's admitting that the crab are starving to death. They're starving. So everything's starving to death. The ocean's in collapse. It's the greatest story in human history. And the salmon are the smoking gun of Fukushima, because they go to sleep on average in 5 years. That record returns in 2015, the salmon that went out in 2010. You wouldn't believe me, the tide pools were healthy in 2010, 2011, and they collapsed epically, acutely, kind of like I did. But I'm rebuilt, I got a second chance for a reason. The fight goes on. So the returning salmon in 2016 just immediately started to crash, and they've crashed down to a point now. All of it's emergency closed. It's an epic catastrophe. You got to realize how much of the, because that's all people care about up there is their money. You got to realize how much the Oregon, Washington, the Alaskan economies are tied to fishing. And in Alaska, it's real; it's their livelihood. But in Oregon, it's retail. I mean, because the Mitchell Act hijacked it. Come get your, the average fishing trip spends $3,500, but when it's emergency closed, that's why they'd not. And they've been in violation of the endangered species. And by the way, I'm the guy that got Tillamook Bay closed. That unarguable. He'd come right out and says, "There's phone calls from the activists. It was only me and Tim." I talked to him, just me and Tim. They're talking to me now. I was classified by the Army Corps of Engineers. I have a whistleblower. I've got a bunch of whistleblowers coming to me now. Of course, I always have. Remember, I read Hillary's emails on 3 years before they were released about the cover-up of Fukushima. I know I have the transcript inside the situation. I've read it online long before the Never Make It So was cut loose. I've done all this. You can take away all my credibility you want. Remember, I did this while I was in critical condition. And one other thing to Leslie Stahl, the NEI, the United States Department of Energy, who murdered my father in the Nevada test site, Special Forces Marine, hired PR trolls to go after me. Why don't you do an investigative report? And remember, I'm the son of a Special Forces Marine who gave his life. I'm the son of an Omaha Beach D-Day vet who gave the nephew who raised me, my uncle. I did this while I was in critical condition, full of AML leukemia. And the Department of Energy hired people to attack me, which are felonies in all 50 states and most countries in the world. They went after me viciously, my own government, while I was in critical condition. Now just wrap that around your mind, these trolls. Some guy says, "Oh, see your scar." There's videos with my chest split wide open all over the internet with 30, 40,000 views. Hanford on chemo, old Santa Susana on chemo. That's another thing. I'll talk more about the Santa Susana nightmare, but Santa Susana was the worst nuclear accident in the history of the world. Second. They talk Chernobyl? Oh no. Santa Susana? No. Tamayak. Mayak was one. Both happened in 1958. Who covered them up? Eisenhower. They were covered up by the United States. They had veto power inside the UN at the time. That's when the IAEA hijacked the freaking entire UN. I protested there too. So I've leaked all this out and I've told everything. Everything. I've taken so much risk, worked so hard, traveled the world, proved to you the tide pulls. But proof means nothing to dogmatic sheep. Well, so it airs, we'll see. But he says it's not as panic painted as they think. And she says she says they viewed a lot of your videos, the people that put it together, and she asked him straight up, well, there's a guy on the internet that's been on this from day one, and you guys went after him, attacked him like he said it was a conspiracy. It sounds like to me maybe he was right. We'll see, huh? So Fukushima is the greatest nuclear disaster in history by billions of times. And they're documented. The robots are going down to look. Well, remember, CBS, anybody said there wasn't even a meltdown. Now they're looking for the missing cores. This proves to you, as I call Del Mar, Argentina syndrome. They have no answer. This documentary will prove it, even though it'll be, I'll believe it that it will be panic painted. Of course it will be. I mean, you can't be radical enough and tell the truth of Fukushima. Oh, I have. Stand tuned.